Hello and welcome to the Phillip channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, as always, David Brains. And in today's Army Focus, I've been joined by Phil. Good morning, Phil.
Morning, Dave. How you doing?
Great, thank you. Now, really awesome to have Phil back. I think we've just chatted, you've done two games on channel.
2 games, one end of last year and one beginning of this year, where I got pasted in both. They were both really good games, and I don't mind coming on to get my buttocks handed to me.
No, they were thrilling games. You were up against a tough Raven Guard list, I think, last time, weren't you?
Double Fire Raptor.
Yeah.
That they just cleaned house.
It was a bit tough.
And Michael for the second game, that come down to the wire. That was a really good game.
It was good.
Great opponent as well.
Brilliant. Well, it's really great to have Phil back on the channel, and we've got him in his Army Focus. And Phil, you've brought a ton of Sons of Horus troops.
Yeah, a lot more than what I thought I had, actually.
Yeah.
Saturn pointed up the other week, and it was between 9,000 and 9,500 points. So it's like,
that's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is so much on the table. You've got such a variety of troops and infantry, virtually one of each well, not one of each, but vehicles and characters, and you've just got a ton.
Just, yeah, a bucket load of stuff. I've just bought stuff that I like the look of, as opposed to this is an uber killer unit. I like the look of that rule of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you've gone with Sons of Horus. They are a fantastic legion, some amazing unique troops, but obviously you've got Horus the War Master himself in your list.
Front and centre, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I started the army. When Simon Egan put out that he was sculpting Horus, it was like, that's it. That's the model I want. And it come out and it was like, oh my God, I'm getting that. And from there, it's
grown, hasn't it?
It's escalated to this.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of posts recently on Facebook where people are saying, I'm looking to start Sons of Horus, where shall I start? And the logical answer has to be with Horus, right?
Horus and Just Airing.
Terminators, yeah.
Literally everyone says start with Just Airing or big blocks of Tactical Marines.
Yeah.
So, but no, Just Airing, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a 10-man squad there, isn't it?
I think there's
Is there a bit more?
I think there's 12. I think I've got 10 or 12 there.
Wow. 2 wounds as well. They got a rules update, I don't know, maybe about 6 or 7 months ago. 2 wounds apiece.
Longer than that, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they got a rules update just before I started. So they stayed the same in points cost, but double the wounds. So now they're absolute tanks.
Yeah, they are a beast, and they're obviously equipped in their Cataphractic Terminator armor. That 4-up invulnerable is just the mainstay of Terminator units, aren't they?
With Primus Medicae now as well for 5-up. Feel no pain. They just it takes a lot to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And now with the added Estrasis from the new book, he can give them Sanctuary, so they can go 3-up in Von.
Word.
So
that's tough.
It's a little bit more rude.
Is it psychic power?
It's a psychic power, but he's a little bit risky if he rolls a double on his psychic tests. He takes a Perils of the Warp, so he's an unstable librarian, but he's absolutely hilarious.
But I guess as we march towards Terror, the Sons of Horus, they're getting a bit more ragged. They're starting to come over to Chaos a little bit more. It kind of fits in with that sort of storyline to them, doesn't it?
They're creeping ever more towards Chaos, and they're not like the Word Bearers where they've gone full blown into it both feet. They're kind of like bits of sneaking in.
Yeah. In
the books, the Luperci have come across now, and everyone in the community are waiting for them to turn up. Yeah. There's a few guys who have converted them out of the Golvarak and out of Wolven kits as well. Yeah,
because obviously they the Lunar Wolves before everything sort of kicked off, and they obviously changed from that light grey, stormy grey armour to the green with the Eye of Horus in the centre of their chest. So I think it's one of the most distinctive colour schemes that has developed. They've gone from such a pallid colour to sort of like a vibrant. Well, it's kind of vibrant. It's kind of dimmy, a darker kind of green.
I've gone for the dark on the darker scale of the side. There's guys who've gone the very sea green, almost sort of like turquoisey cyan kind of colour. As I've gone, leaning more towards the salamanders green almost. So sometimes people say, are you playing salamanders? No, there's a great big eye Horus on my Rhino. Have a guess.
I think that's a bit tough. I love the deep green on the Sons of Horus, and I think they're quite a tricky army to paint as well, because everyone has such a different interpretation of that colour scheme.
Yeah, there's must be about 8 or 9 different ways of painting the green, ranging from using whites to greys and blues and people using inks and metallics and things like that. So it's just so varied.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it, to be honest with you. The dark green works really well, and you've got, as you said, that Eye of Horus, that big orange thing right in the middle, and it contrasts really well with the green. I think it looks awesome.
It is. It's turned out really. The colour scheme's turned out really nice in combination with the black as well. It just stands out, and then with spot colours on things like the plasma, and it just makes it pop. Yeah,
it's a really great cohesive army, and once you've got it all laid out, it's really impressive. I think you said as well, it's probably the first time you've had the whole thing out for a long time, isn't it? Or ever.
I've never actually put the whole army out on the board to kind of look at. About a year ago, I put what I had at the time, which was probably about half, if not a third of this.
Okay.
And it was like, I'm getting there. And then now it's like, oh.
Just exploded, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
It's mad. So let's talk about your gaming and what you do generally. So, Heresy usually paid at about 2.5, 3.5. What would sort of be an include for you at a 3K list, for example?
3K has to be just airing.
Okay.
Every game I take them, they do the work. The rest of the army can fall to bits and just fall flat on their face. Just airing will be there, and 90% of the time they'll give the enemy grief and pull the game through for us.
What about tac squads? Are they a big inclusion for you?
Yeah, you kind of need them. I've got 2 tactical squads in Rhinos. I play a very mechanised heavy list as opposed to infantry. I've tried playing infantry and it's too slow for my play style as such.
Okay.
So I quite like Rhino rushing up, jumping out and making use of the BS5 for being within 12 inch from Death Dealer, which is quite nice.
They're an aggressive army, though, aren't they?
They are a very aggressive army, and you've kind of got to play big or go home kind of thing. I think the only other army which is more aggressive, I think, is World Eaters.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're all about the chain axes and getting there.
They're all about chain axe to the face, whereas we're kind of we'll bolt you to death with BS5 or Plasma or Volkite or whatever at BS5, and then just give you a kick in with whatever's left. So typical gang style.
Yeah, well, this is it. Their roots are in gang culture, aren't they?
They are. They're very gang based. So,
yeah. I was listening to the Solar War at the moment. I think it was the first Solar War book on audio dramas, and there's a lot of Sons of Horus in there, and they talk about the history and
it goes into a lot of Abaddon's back history. I've just finished reading it myself, and it goes quite a lot into where Abaddon's roots were, which is quite nice. It explains where he comes from as such.
Yeah. They're a very cutthroat army, take no mercy, aren't they? And
they're very cutthroat.
They're very cool.
They're not scared to play dirty either.
No.
So
it's a really interesting list. If we look at some of the other models you've got, you've got a couple of Sakaran chassis there. So you've got the Venator and is it the Omega?
It's the Omega, yeah. I've just not long finished painting the Omega. It is. I love the kit. It just looks stunning on the board.
It does.
It's a little bit expensive for what it does. Could be doing a little bit of a price drop, maybe about 30 odd points or something like that, or maybe upgrade the gun a little bit, because all the other chassis seem to outshine it. They've got the standard Sicarian, which is everyone's bread and butter seems to be, and
But I think each tank, they fulfil a particular role. So the Venator is great for taking on super heavies and shutting down larger vehicles or Titans. Yeah. And the Omega there is really great for kind of really elite infantry, isn't it? The AP2 on it.
Oh, it'll plaster Custodes all day long.
Yeah, I think they're really key models. And if we look at some of the dreadnoughts, and you've also got, I can't remember, Tech Marine.
Tech Marine with conversion beamer.
Yeah. And then obviously combine that with your Rite of War, the Long March.
Yep,
works well.
He's a sneaky 7-point assassin. He just moonwalks backwards and forwards on the board edge, just firing off a conversion beamer at full range every turn, and it annoys everyone I've played with it. And they're just like, "Why won't you die? Or, where's that conversion beamer come from?" Oh, him just sat here.
Yeah. It's really powerful. And with that Long March, you get Relentless in your deployment zone.
Relentless in my deployment zone. I get Fleet in No Man's Land. Brilliant. And then Crusader in the enemy's deployment zone.
Yeah. I've played against quite a few Sons of Horus players where you've got 3 quad launchers at the back and they're moving and they're firing at full ballistic skill, which is just mental.
Yeah, or heavy weapon squads. Yeah. People take heavy weapon squads with like las cannons or whatever, just walking backwards and forwards, just picking off tanks. It's funny. It's
a fantastic Rite of War because it rewards shooting from your own deployment zone to keep the army at bay. And then as you're moving your troops up, obviously they've got that fleet as well, so they're getting closer. And then your Crusaders, when you're in combat, you can then cut down quicker.
Yeah, it's great when you're in no man's land and you're wanting to commit to that charge.
Yeah.
Because there's that time where, you roll and you think, 1 inch out, and then you go, oh, I've got fleet and I can re-roll, and bang. Which it's great. There's times where I've been stuck in no man's land when we're just standing there going, this is going to hurt now.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's a really great white wall, and can be used to absolute deadly effect if you've got the right units in the right sector of the board to maximise that.
And there's no drawbacks.
Yeah, this is true.
It's like, don't use stuff which has not got slow and purposeful. Don't use fortifications. All right, don't use them. I'm not Imperial Fist, thanks. So there's no major drawbacks to the actual right of war, which some people find a bit harsh when you combine it with all the other rules that Sons of Horus have got. So Mercy Killers and Death Dealer.
Death Dealer's really great. I'm currently running a series on YouTube and on the website with Alistair, a friend of mine. He's got Sons of Horus. I'm using Mechanicum, and quite often he's used that Death Dealer rule. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's not too difficult to get off either when you've got things like drop pods or jumping out of rhinos. I was saying to you before we come on, one of my favourite units is Plasma Squad and a drop Dreadclaw. Just turn up turn 1, reroll 1s to hitting on 2s, and just plasma death.
Yeah,
whatever you drop by.
And that's really valuable as well, because occasionally we see plasma. You can take half your squad out if you roll a bit unluckily, but with that reroll, it's unreal. And then you hit it on 2s, AP2. You're going to ruin a squad, aren't you?
I've decimated my brother's Dark Furies in the past with just them 5 men.
Oh god!
So if it works really well. If it goes wrong, then oh well.
I know augury scanners are a thing now, and the rules have changed quite a few times, but you can mitigate against augury scanners, and if you can get that squad into position, they're fantastic.
They are just rude if you get them in position. And the War Master's portion, which is the actual rule for re-rolling 1s, it confers to every unit in the army, so it even goes on to tanks because it doesn't say Legion Astartes.
That's
so
sneaky.
Allowing you to re-roll 1s on something like a Venator is actually it's quite nice.
That's huge. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit more. Obviously, we've got Horus is just staring. You've got a variety of dreadnoughts and a Castellax there as well.
Yeah, I've got a Braving with a Castellax, which I've used a couple of times for smaller Centaurian games. I've used them in Zone Mortalis, and it's great fun.
Yeah, they're good fun to use, isn't it?
The Leviathan is one of my favourite dreadnoughts. If you're playing any Heresy army, Leviathan is a must, really. He's such a brute. Some games he works, other games he just falls flat in his face, takes a las cannon to the chest and just keels over. So it's a game with dice. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Same with Deredeo. There's games I've played where he's been just sitting there going, I'm just going to just pew at everything and not hurt anything. And there's other games I played a mate and he wiped out 3 dreadnoughts in the game.
Oh, really?
Just dead.
It's good to see the las cannons as well, because you don't see las cannons that often. It's mainly the auto cannons.
Auto cannons and the plasma, because they're a bit cheaper. They're like 50-point upgrade, so it's expensive for 2 shots.
And they call it. I've got this in my head. IKEA pattern las cannons. It was IKEA.
Arcus.
I can't remember. I know it begins with A.
Arcanus pattern las cannon or something like that.
Good memory.
So it's like a heavy las cannon, 2 shot, strength 10 with exo shock on top.
They're huge las cannons as well. I don't appreciate how big they are.
They are massive. They are like twice the size of a Space Marine.
Yeah.
So
I almost imagine them on the side of a lander, the laser destroyers rather than the quad las cannons. But
they're
very sort of size and scale, but you could easily slap on the side and they wouldn't look out of place. They look very cool. Now, tell me a little bit about. The Sons of Horus feature really heavily in a lot of the books in the Heresy series. Is there a particular moment that you really like, or just a generic sort of feel of the army? What is it that drew you to them?
When I started reading the books, right at the beginning, I was reading through the first 3, and I was like, I'm drawn in by these. And I wasn't quite on the cusp of starting a Heresy army then. And it got later on, then obviously Horus come out, and I was like, must do. And I hadn't found a balance or theme for where I was going for the army, and then was it Vengeful Spirit come out where they're battling on Molech? Yeah, I was like, this is where I'm going to do it. I can now start adding things like spikes on and things like that. Kind of go that little bit more darker route with them.
Yeah, you can definitely see their progression where they were like, the Emperor's finest almost, and they're slowly starting to degrade. And the whole storyline about how Horus falls, and obviously Erebus plays a massive part in that. And, in some ways you feel really sorry for Horus because he's kind of in that struggle, isn't he? He's kind of been hoodwinked into this path he's going down.
Yeah, and in the books it goes into his personal battle between falling and being good as such. And it's so on a knife edge about how he's going to come out. You think 1 minute, oh, hold on, he could, even though everyone knows what happens at the end of it, but you still think, he could actually come out of this, and kind of like just stop the whole thing. But obviously, it's already been written, and it's
I think we all know the story, and I'm sure you all know the story as well. If you're watching this, we all know the story of Horus. But I think we've been going on this journey for probably the last 10 years. I think we've reading these books. Maybe a little bit longer even, and we're getting so close to Terror now, and I'm so looking forward to when the Emperor teleports onto the Vengeful Spirit, and there's that battle between Sanguinius and the Emperor, and I can't wait for that.
It's going to be epic. Yeah, I think that's just going to be one book alone, just Horus and the Emperor just laying the smackdown on each other. I think it's just going to be one book on its own. Well, I hope it will be, because that'd be epic.
Yeah, I think it needs the majesty of a book to kind of explore everything, because there's a lot of mixed emotions going along. There's a lot of, there's been so much preamble in the last 10 years, all these books, and everything's kind of coming to one culmination, and to come in and, the Emperor swipes and he stabs, and that's the end of it. I think
bish bash bosh, one chapter, you're done. You're like, where's the rest of it?
You need a lot more out of it, don't you? I particularly love the bit, I'm really terrible with history, I'm really sorry. There's a bit where obviously the Emperor gives what's his name? The Wolf King, that spear, that spear. And then he goes and stabs Horus with it. He board the ship and stab him with it, and he goes for that he kind of comes out of himself, doesn't he?
He drops out of it. It's an interesting moment reading the book, actually, where them two fight, and it just shows how far Horus has actually fallen, where Russ, who is one of the stronger Primarchs, is actually doubting himself whether he can actually beat him or not. And he's there on their face, and Horus thinking, I'm going to die, I'm going to get splattered across the deck. And then he finds that one opening he needs just to kebab him. And then I think the following book, he's pretty much sat on his throne the entirety of it, because he's bleeding out from this wound that just will not heal. You
wonder how he's going to come out of it.
It goes so dark in the following book. You've got Horus there sat on his throne. It describes about all this dark miasma kind of floating around him, and kind of like demons and everything and whatever. And he's just sat there kind of like asleep. For 3/4 of the book.
That's right.
So when he does turn, going back to the book previous, when Russ is actually fighting his way to Horus, when Horus turns up, he kind of just steps out from his bridge and goes, everyone stop. And the whole deck just stops fighting. And you just think, wow, how far has he gone to be able to command that?
It's very cool. Ooh. It's a really great story. I was absolutely enthralled when I was reading it. It was so good. But I think the story surrounding Horus, it's all about him and his kind of his downfall, I guess. But it's such an amazing series of books. It's unreal. Obviously, if you're watching this, you are probably well up to date with all the knowledge.
Probably more up to date than us, actually.
I must admit,
I've missed probably about a dozen books out of it, but
the lore isn't the lore isn't my strong point. I can set games out, I can give a rough narrative, but I said to Phil before we came on, I said, look, if you know the names of planets and ships and characters, please help me out, because I don't have the retention for that sort of detail. I'm more of a top line kind of guy, I think.
Yeah, I can remember the names, it's whether I can say them or not. So it's this is where dyslexia kicks in. You go, how do you say that?
I think that's Horus Heresy in general.
It's horrible. You try and read some bits out and they go, no, you don't say that. All right.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Moving back to the army, is there a particular unit that you love? We talked about the Justerian, but what about, because you've got Reavers and you've got some Assault Marines, some Breachers, Volkite?
Yeah, it's at the minute there's a couple of different bits and pieces that are kind of in my favourite scope. One of them being the Tech Priest, in only 70 points of a conversion beamer, just being able to, like I said earlier, just moving about, that sneaky little conversion beamer shot down range is hilarious. And I love the Leviathan.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the Leviathan until they get one to the face.
I think they're an auto-include at the moment because they're such a big, beefy unit.
They are massively beefy, and the the layouts you can take on it. I mean, I've given the grav flux on here today, but normally I'm running with a storm cannon and a siege drill.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
it's just back of Marines and then just stick a giant whirly saw in the face, really.
Yeah, I think you need a ranged weapon and a close combat weapon to get the full effect from it. There's a lot of guys that to put double storm cannon on, and that's fine, but when you get up close, they're not much cop, are they?
I feel it's a bit of a waste of a Leviathan. Something that hits hard in melee to give it 2 guns is a bit meh.
Yeah.
I think people are doing it in 40k, so I think they're kind of mirroring it in 30k, but it's that's not my thing, really.
Yeah.
Maybe double combat weapon just for hilarity, just to run across the board.
That'd be good. You'd need a drop pod if you're going to double fist. You need a drop pod,
or something in front of him so he doesn't take a las cannon to the chin.
Yes, this is true. So you got a little squad of Volkite down the front there, as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I love Volkite as well. There isn't a lot of it floating around the army, but I do like Volkite. It's one of the first units I got when I started this army. I started it with 2 tactical squads and a Volkite squad, and just the Volkite were like, "Oh wow, these are amazing!" They just cause extra wounds and whatever. And they've only just floated back into the list recently, so it's
okay. They're good fun.
Yeah.
And what about Malaga? Did you get much use out of Malagas and Abaddon, or?
Abaddon I've not really used so much. There's a lot of people, and I'm one of them, who actually think his rules need slightly tweaking.
Okay.
You can take a combat bolter, or you can take a power sword.
Yeah.
Maybe upgrade that to a paragon blade might be nice, or make him like initiative 2 with his power fist or something like that. Because he's 215 points or whatever, and he just stands there and gets stabbed by a pointy stick before he gets a chance to slap him.
But let's not forget as well, Abaddon, he leads the army, the Black Legion into I think it's Black Legion into 40k, and he's the top guy. And if you look at the 40k model for Abaddon, it looks like Horus.
He is as big as Horus. His new model is huge, and here he's like a bit like damp squib, really. It's like a Praetor can do his job for about the same points.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't get all the cool things like deep striking and things like that from him, but
yeah, it's a very cool. I have seen a couple of conversions where they've used the 40k Horus model, Abaddon model as a 30k Horus model, and it's so close.
There's not much difference in it. No.
It's very cool. And Malagas, do you get much use out of him?
I've used him a little bit. I'm still trying to work out, for me, how to play him. Okay. There's a lot of people who say, I'll stick him with a tactical squad or with a heavy weapon squad at the back. They're fearless, and he counts as scoring for objectives. So they sit him on the objective and just gun away the entire game.
Yeah.
My playstyle is a little bit too aggressive for that, really. So I've found it a little bit difficult to try and shoehorn him in. I've got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
Of where I want to kind of try him out next. So
one thing I love about the Centaurus as well is it's not only the colour scheme, but it's the contrast of the reds. You've gone really deep with like kind of red capes. You've got a couple of purple ones here, but it contrasts really beautifully, doesn't it?
Thank you very much. Yeah. I started off doing red capes, and then I've just wanted a slight colour change. And on things like I've got a Delegatus over there, and my Praetor and my Legion Champ. They've all got purple ones. Just, why not, really?
Bit different.
It's just something different.
And obviously, we talk about the Fellblade there. Do you get much use out of him as well?
I've not had it that long. I've only had about 3 or 4 games of it, and it's first game, new model syndrome. It went pop.
Oh, did it?
But everything does. You stick a freshly painted model on the board, and everyone targets it, and it's just rubbish. After that, it was an absolute beast.
Yeah,
firing, being able to choose between your firing settings on the main gun is great.
Yeah,
AT shells are a bit rubbish if you're playing against Custodes. It tends to bounce off them.
What strength is a large blast? Is it 7 or 8? I can't quite remember.
The 7-inch template is strength 8, I think.
Yeah.
AP 2 or 3, something like that. So it leaves holes in.
Yeah.
You stick it over a tactical squad, and the tactical squad will disappear.
Yeah.
And you've got a demolisher cannon just in case there's that one guy you want to get rid of.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's got a demolisher on the front.
It's got that many guns there. The first time I played it, I'm going, right, well, what have I got? Well, main gun, that quad las cannon over there, that quad las cannon over there, that there. And I always got a heavy bolter on it as well. It's like, and I've given it a 100 kilo missile. You're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Everything can fire everywhere, so it's just.
It's a beast,
mental.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
12 hull points as well on those.
12 hull points, yeah.
Yeah, it's an absolute beast. And you've also got as well a plasma pres. Well, we don't see too many of those, to be fair, but they are quite effective, I think.
They are rude. Being able to fire 3-inch templates a turn with it is just it's just it will decimate a squad.
Yeah, absolutely,
and it will scare Custodes as well, which is
it's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, a mate of mine plays Custodes, and I seem to be facing quite a bit at the minute. So it's kind of like trying to work out ways of smashing his army to bits without getting tabled.
Yeah, I think at the moment, even with the rules changes in the last sort of 6 months or so, or year even, they are still a tough prospect, aren't they?
They are. All these guys are running around with Presidium shields, so it's like -1 to hit, and you're like, oh, for crying out loud. So it's just got to shoot the feet from underneath them, really.
Yeah, you need that firepower, don't you? And you've got it in bags, though, I think.
Yeah. I've got enough, but when he's charging 4 dreadnoughts that year, it's a bit, you kind of like
4 dreadnoughts.
Yeah. one Telemon and two spear, 1 shield. You're going, how am I going to deal with this?
Yeah, they're tough.
But he has only just started playing, so he's not an absolute.
Oh, okay.
He's not one of them players. He's only just started, and he's like, I like the look of them.
All right, that's fair.
So
that's
I'll let him off.
They are a cool model range. I have to say, they are absolutely amazing. The spear dread and one with the sword and shield, they are amazing.
The spear dread is absolutely rude.
Yeah. Is he still a D on the charge?
Still D on the charge. He literally charged my Spartan and went, get off my board, and flipped it off with a D. It was like, oh.
That is rude. Let's talk about your Land Raiders. You've got a Spartan, which is absolute mainstay of Heresy armies.
It is, yep.
We know a lot about those, but I love your Mark II B Land Raider.
Yeah, one of the more expensive models on the board, I will say. It's Mark IIB with a aftermarket kit on it for the tracks.
Oh, we see. I didn't realise.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm allowed to mention the...
I don't know. What is it?
Blood and Skulls Industry.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. There's quite a few aftermarket stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who do use that conversion kit.
Yeah.
So,
Forge World are unfortunately famous for just bad tracks on vehicles.
Yeah, my Spartan's the Mark I version, so they had to put all the tracks individually, whereas
rough.
A mate of mine's got 2 Mark II ones with the tracks already on, and he's like, I can't understand your struggle. Look at the model.
The pain is real.
Oh, it's the same with them tracks, but not so much.
I must admit, I didn't notice. I noticed because on the back of we'll show a photo of this, but on the back of that Rando, it's got the air scrubbers. Are they standard, or have you put them on yourself?
No, they're actually part of the kit from Blood and Skulls Industry. So you get a back plate to put on, and you get a set that goes around between the track and then the tracks.
Right.
So
looks really cool.
It's a really nice model, and it sits nicely right next to the Spartan, whereas the standard Land Raider kit looks a little bit too new, and you've got the Imperial Eagles on the tracks as well. Yeah, which you can hide it with mud and whatever. But
what about the argument where the Phobos, I guess it is. I guess it has 180 degree arc, doesn't it, because of the weapon system? But the Milan Mark IIB, it's kind of 45 from the thing. Is that a major issue for you?
What's that, for the heavy bolter? Or
no, for the
lascans. It's got about a 90 degree on
it. Okay.
So it can kind of almost come back on itself a little bit, but generally I'm shooting what's in front of me.
Fair enough.
So,
because you always wonder about that, don't you? Because some models, they do transfer over from 40k to 30k, and they do have slightly different design and where the weapon fits, and you've got different firing arts. So I'm not saying you're modelling for advantage or anything, but it does offer a little bit more advantage if you can come forward and then fire directly behind you.
Yeah, being able to do that with the plastic Land Raider. Yeah, but
like you say, if you're going forward, you don't need to worry too much.
If you want to be that kind of player, then go for it. Oh.
I guess the unique thing about the Land Raider is because it is armor 14 all the way around. It doesn't matter if you're kind of.
It doesn't matter if I'm mooning the opponent while I'm blasting something behind me. In fairness, so once the stuff's out, it's just on its own to do stuff. So it's primarily there as an assault vehicle alongside the Spartan. So
absolutely, it's a very cool looking tank. I keep looking at the Proteus and the Mark IIB and thinking, I need to do a Space Marine Legion, but then I've got Soul on the Boil, and I'm like, I just can't do it. But it is a very cool looking vehicle. Now you've got 9,500 points of Sons of Horus. Are there anything you want to add to just pop that up a little bit, or are you kind of where you are?
There's a few bits and pieces I do want to add. I want to add more Justarian.
Okay. Why not?
Why not? I want to add another 10, preferably with like combi weapons and whatever, and stick them in the Calabies just for hello.
That'll be cool.
That'll be really good. Luperci when they turn up.
Yes.
If they turn up.
If,
when. And I would like to add a couple more Leviathans just for hilarity. Have a talent of 3 running across the board.
I mean, who doesn't want Horus, 20 Justarian, and 3 Leviathans run up the board? I mean, that's cool.
Why not?
I think that is the beauty of Horus Heresy as well, because you can do those really weird and wild lists.
If I take Horus, he allows Justarian to be troops.
Yeah.
So I can go 2 blocks of 10.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get splattered, but it'll be hilarious. And he's a beast anyway, so for his points he should be. He
has an amazing ability where he can just deep strike in, not scatter. He's got 10 Justarian with him. I think you can have 1 multi-matter per 5, is that right?
You can have 1 heavy weapon per 5, yes.
Yeah.
So you can take a multi-metal or a cannon or a heavy flame.
You've got a flamer on one of yours.
I've got a flamer on that, yeah.
But that is such a valuable thing. You can deep strike in, melt whatever you need, and then you've got 20 ablative wounds before you get to the top man. It's quite powerful.
It's quite pokey, and he will obliterate stuff on his own. In fairness, I went to an event last year, I think, and I went against a solo auxiliary guy. Separated him off, and he was like, right, okay. Went through 2 units, got to the command squad, splattered the command squad, killed the commander, and then went as a Baneblade over there and went and table flipped that as well. It was just mad. Like,
what sort of points is that there? Roughly, I won't put you on the spot. Over 1,000, it's got to be.
Well over 1,000. I think when I took it last year, it was Horus, something like 8 or 9 Terminators, and Medicae, and my Praetor Kyber.
Yeah.
It was about 1,100 with the Spartan as well. So
that's mental.
It's eggs in one basket. In 3K, it's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 500 on his own.
Yeah, he is.
But his rules list is like this.
Yeah.
So.
But if you're taking that on the Spartan, that demands attention, doesn't it? And if you don't deal with it, other elements of your army can encircle.
Pretty much. That's generally if I take him, that's generally what I do. It's like his turn. I either say he's going to be in that or he's deep striking, and you're kind of going,
Yeah. It's a tough prospect, and if you are getting Horus deep striking into your lines, you have to deal with that, because if you don't, those Terminators and Horus will hit you like a freight train in the next couple of turns, and then by that time he's probably munched through a quarter or a third of your army, and you've not got much left.
If you don't commit to killing them, you just you're stuffed really. So
Dan and I talked about distraction card effects. It's a bit of a well-known thing, but that is probably the ultimate distraction card effects, is it not?
It is for the points of you drop them in and people go
I must admit, when I face Horus, I do groan a little bit. I go, oh God, how am I going to deal with that? But because it is a very, very tough prospect. But yeah, but why wouldn't you? Do you know what I
mean? I've stopped using him for that reason, really.
Have you?
I was using him against my brother for a bit, and he plays Raven Guard, and he was using Corax, and it was like, Corax just doesn't stand a chance against Horus, and he was throwing everything at him, like Dark Furies and whatever, and praying for the rend, and he's just stood there going,
yeah.
And I've even faced him off against Vulcan.
Oh, really?
And that I think they lasted 4 rounds, beating the snot out of each other until finally he stuck Vulcan on his backside.
Really?
So it takes a high level Primarch really to take him on.
Yeah.
It might just be moving with dice, and but.
I think it's really important as well, particularly if you play the tournament scene or narrative events, you will always come up somewhere against Horus. And I think because he's such an iconic person in the storyline, to fight him and his Justarian is quite an experience. You have to play very differently to how you'd normally play. And I think you need to think really, really hard about how you're going to take a unit on. And I've played it quite a few times with Horus and his Justarian, and you have to think really hard about what you're going to do. And I think it forces you to learn as well. It's a really good.
If you're going to go against him, you can't half-arse it.
Yeah.
If you go in there kind of like half-cocked, you're going to get slapped.
Yeah.
If you don't, you need to either pin him down, with something that's solid.
Yeah.
And or you can't ignore him.
There's a couple of ways which I've fought him in the past. You either with the Thalax army, it's a little bit different because I've got a lot of mobility, so I can stay away from the reach of that 6-inch move and a possible 12-inch charge. But if you do fluff your jetpack moves in the assault phase, you only get a 2 and you need an 8. Then Horus will catch up and he will destroy that unit. But the key to it for me, I found, is to take out the Justarian, at least 3 or 4, because that's 4 or 5 less attacks you're getting back per Terminator. But even if you get rid of the Terminators, Horus will just do the business.
Yeah, he will tank a lot of stuff on his own.
Yeah,
I mean, the Justarian there for gravy, really. It's
for flavour.
Charge in, go for it. All right, Horus is going to challenge your Praetor or whatever. Oh, look, he's taking out the squad as well as the Praetor, and they're just there and just stand there going, oh, well. But yeah, they're there for extra wounds, and they're there for, against harder units, they will generally get rid of the chaff.
You mentioned you took on Vulcan. I'd love to see Horus, Justarian versus Vulcan and I can't remember the Terminators.
The Fire Drakes. I've done that and I got pasted.
Did you?
Yeah, I took on a guy and he had 8 or 9 Fire Drakes.
Right.
Praetor in there as well with the Fire Drakes cloak or something that made him Eternal Warrior.
Dragon Scale cloak, I think it is, yeah.
Dragon Scale cloak so the Thunderhammer Storm Shield, Dragon Scale cloak, and went on challenging Horus. And I was like, all right, okay, go for it. Yeah, but I'm Eternal Warrior. Oh, damn it. And then literally the rest of the Terminators are all standing there going, yeah, but we've all got Chain Fists and Thunderhammers. And the minute you start throwing instant death stuff at them, they're just going to fall over. Yeah. That's their main weakness is double them out. And
we'll have to get that. We'll have to get on the channel. We'll try and sort that out because I think you could almost set up a very unique game in which that kind of happens. I'll have a think about that, but I think that could be a good watch.
Yeah, I think one of the only other units in the game which is a bit scary them is actually Vulcan and his Fire Drakes.
Yeah,
because 3 up invulnerable save.
Yeah,
and bang a Primus Medicae in there as well, and you're looking at a very scary unit.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's really interesting.
But anyway,
no, we've said you've got 9.5k of Sons of Horus. There's a few units to add. Are you looking at anything else in the future? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, I'm putting this army on the back burner for a little bit. I'm going to start work on a Mechanicum army.
Brilliant.
So, I'm a bit tired of painting power armor. In fairness.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it to paint. Mechanicum, you can have quite a small army, big models, and it's less effort, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to starting something different, a little bit of a different palette as well.
Do you know what colour you're going to go with Mechanicum?
Not yet. I've got a couple of ideas, but nothing.
I've seen some white recently. Obviously, I've gone with red. I've seen a blue Mechanicum army recently at Company of Legends that was absolutely spectacular. It was really, really nice. The guy had an Atropos and some Cryos Venators, and it looked really cool in the blue. But I think the flavour of the month right now is I always get this wrong. It's like Malanax or Xana. I think it's Xana, isn't it? Very cool with the off-white bone with the scorpions.
Yeah,
it looks so cool. And you mentioned as well you brought a couple of those new. Is it Moriacs, the new knights? Was it those you brought?
I've not bought them yet, but they are planned to go in the army. Okay. So, I mean,
they're cool.
I can take mini knights as a heavy sport choice, but as opposed to, and it still frees up the Lord of War choice where to stick a bigger knight in later on. So it'd be interesting.
Do you think you'll go Scoria maybe? Or you not decided?
I've not decided which side to kind of float yet. I'm kind of keeping it very down the middle so I can kind of play both sides at the moment. And Scoria is on the list to get because he is a very nice model.
He is. That's the beauty of Mechanicum. You can just float either side if you want. And if you go to a tournament, you can just do whichever side you want. I'm not fussed whether I fight Loyalist or Traitor and Mechanicum. I just want to play a game. I'm not too worried about it.
I don't really care either. Just because we're Traitor doesn't mean we don't stab each other in the back. So
that's very true. But you mentioned as well, maybe some Myrmidons might make an appearance.
Yeah, I quite like the models, so I think they're going to kind of turn up. They are going to turn up. So
I love Myrmidons. My only criticism is there's just 3 models for them. You can obviously switch the guns over if you get models from different places. But so instead of having the Volkart on the right shoulder, you can have it on the left. So there is that. But yeah, I think they need a couple more variants just to make it a bit different. But they are very cool.
They are very nice models. I don't think they'd be that difficult to chop and change about.
No,
with a little bit of green stuff and a bit of aftermarket kits here, there, and everywhere. So
yeah, very, very cool. We'll just have to hope that we get some more weapon variants for them. I think there's 5 at the moment, but only models for 3. Be nice because they can be armed with a photon thruster as well, can't they? Which is a really, really great weapon. Yeah, it's very cool. Well, anything else? Any final closing words for any budding Sons of Horus players out there?
Have fun. The Sons of Horus community is one of the better communities I feel out there. There's no slagging each other off or saying you're doing this and that wrong or whatever. It can be a little bit at times, but nothing major. If you're playing Sons of Horus, Justarian Horus.
It's got to be in it. And then TAC Marines. We found out.
Tactical Marines and, just have a look at the Rite of Wars and just see what you think. I mean, I run Long March and I've been dabbling in Armoured Spearhead at the minute. A lot of people have been doing Orbital Assault. which is really brutal.
Tip of the spear and all that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There's some really unique rites of war, and it definitely warrants a good look. You are right. I think it has to be Horus and Abaddon, and Justerin to start with, and then you will need tactical units to score points for you in the game. But because they are Sons of Horus, they have access to pretty much everything, don't they?
Pretty much. You take Horus and your veterans become troops, so you can take veterans as troops if you want a slightly more elite army.
Yeah.
Justerin become troops, so that if you don't want to paint a big blob of 20 tactical marines, being able to take a 10-man unit of veterans is quite nice instead. For the smaller games, like Centaurian games as well, I know you can't take them, but you can take Malagos or which allows Reavers as well as troops.
Or a Tooled Up Praetor is just as good, isn't it?
Tooled Up Praetor is really good. I mean, my one's tooled up, so he's sporting a Paragon Blade and a Thunderhammer, so he's ready to take on whatever.
Yeah, no, it's a good choice. Well, that is the end of the army focus from Sons of Horus. Thank you so much to Phil for coming over. He's not too far away. Well, you're only just the other side of Peterborough, Uppingham, isn't it?
I'm in Rutland, Uppingham. Yeah, so I'm kind of smack bang in the middle of nowhere, really.
Brilliant.
About half hour from Peterborough, half hour from Leicester.
Good.
Hour or so from Nottingham, an hour or so from Northampton. So, but it's a little bit dead round there, heresy-wise, in the community. So I've kind of got to travel. But if anyone's in that area and wants a game, then just
fantastic.
Throw us a message up.
We'll hopefully try and get Phil back for a game. We've talked before we came on about doing some bits and bobs, so hopefully we'll get him back. He's been on twice now, so hopefully we'll get him for a third. But now, you are on Instagram as well, so if we've got any direct questions for you, where can we find you?
My Instagram tag is forthewarmaster_XVI.
A fantastic Instagram name, I have no doubt. It's very good.
Very original.
It's good. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you again for Phil for bringing his amazing Sons of Horus in.
Thank you for having me down.
My pleasure. And next army focus will be my Mechanicum, if I can get some varnish sprayed on the models. But hopefully we'll get that done very soon. And we will see you in the next army focus.